Okay, guys, we are live. It's an instant match reaction to that fantastic 4-0 win against Arsenal. I mean, it was a top performance from the first minute to the last minute. We were on fire tonight, and I had to go live, do a little reaction here with Keith at Eaton Ryan on Twitter, of course, as usual. Keith, what a win. 4-0. Beautiful. Could have been 10. Could have been 8. You know what I mean? It could have been a lot more. I'll take 4. I'll take 4. You know?
Could have been 10. Could have been 8. Could have been a sneaky, just a very bare 1-0 win. It could have been... it could have been, it could have even been a 1-1 at one stage, the way the match was panning out, to be honest with you. So, as Klopp always said, it's all about the moments, isn't it? And, we weren't really doing a huge amount until Arteta had that spat on the sideline. And then after he had that spat on the sideline, he just lit that torch paper and the whole stadium went mad. The team went mad, Klopp went mad, everybody went mad, and from that point onwards, there was really only one winner after that. That's a big lesson for him. Don't fucking poke us like that. You fucking poke us like that, at home, and you're gonna get what you fucking get. From that point onwards, it was relentless. We just didn't let them breathe. We suffocated them. Fucking anaconda performance. They just couldn't breathe. They couldn't do anything. They literally couldn't get their head up. They couldn't pass. They couldn't string 2 or 3 passes together. We just fucking suffocated them. It was just a joy to watch, to be honest with you. It's a real kind of a throwback to where league winning, where we just suffocated teams and just squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. There
was an intensity, Keith, tonight I haven't seen in a while. We've seen it a bit against Atletico. We've seen glimpses of it. But for the full 90, I thought it was for the full 90 tonight. It was unusual. Energy was just there,
Yeah, it was. But listen, I think we had the energy from the start, right? And we were closing and we were pressing and we were turning over the football. But we didn't have that edge, that kind of just the confidence in the ball, the one touch, the turn. It was a little bit laboured for the first 15, 20 minutes or so. It was a little bit like that, whereby we were turning the ball over, we were committed, we were playing very well, but we didn't look to be very threatening. We didn't look that we were, and they got forward and they had a couple of kind of half chances, and it looked like it could have been one of those games where we huffed and we puffed, but didn't manage to blow the house down, and then possibly got caught on some sort of a counter attack. It felt like that at the start, and then everything changed, and we just fucking went for them. Fucking bald-headed, went for them, right? And it was just an absolute joy to watch, to be honest with you. An absolute joy to watch. And to a man, everybody stepping up. Absolutely everybody stepping up. Thiago was poor for the first. He was giving the ball away left, right, and centre. He was trying his little flicks stuff, and he was getting, pressed and he was losing the ball. Then he steps up to Ox. Ox was phenomenal, to be honest with you, in terms of closing down and turning over the football. And then when the lads up front got an opportunity to turn it on, they turned it on and they did what they had to do. As you said, it could have been 6, it could have been 7, and probably should have been, to be honest with you.
It should have been. I mean, Jota could have had a hat-trick, to be fair. He really should have. He could have had a hat-trick, but he didn't. But Jota, Mane, Salah, that was the front three. I know Bobby's not there, but that was like the three amigos of old. They were terrorising the bleeding defense every time they got the ball. And obviously, if you have someone like Trent giving the balls, and he got 2 assists tonight, I mean, he was unbelievable as well tonight. He is back to his... I see the interview at the end of it. He seems he's in a right place, in a right frame of mind, mentally and physically, of course, which is huge.
He's a unit now. He's an absolute unit. The difference in him in the space of 12, 15 months is just immense. He's an absolute unit. So, listen, it's just really heartening, isn't it? Just really such a lift walking away from that kind of performance. Just to realise that, it's there, the team, it's within the team, with all the injuries and everything else going against us now at the moment. That kind of performance at home is still there, and we can turn it on when we want to turn it on. So listen,
I think we needed it. I think we needed a performance like that, Keith, because after the West Ham game, the international break, it was fucking doom and gloom. Not that I'm saying it should have been, but it was doom and gloom on Twitter. I know it's always doom and gloom on Twitter, but I think we needed a performance, an 8 or 9 out of 10 performance where we say, right, that's it, boys. Just keep it going. And especially West Ham losing today, United losing again today 4-1. Jesus Christ.
The only downside to that is that he's not going to last the weekend, is he? So
I've sent a few text messages.
But listen, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference this season, to be honest with you, because that far behind now. It'll be it'll make no difference to what they're going to do for the rest of the season, to be honest with you. We had to win.
I think we had to because of Chelsea's statement earlier. Chelsea were impressive today. They beat Leicester 3-0. Could have been more as well. I think they had 3 goals disallowed. They look good.
I don't think that's the benchmark for the league, to be honest with you, in terms of tough games. I think Leicester are a little bit underwhelmed now at the moment. And if he's going to be lined up for the next United job, well, then you can see that whole fucking thing fall into bits. There's a lot of uncertainty around him, what he's going to do next. They have a lot of injuries, so they're missing the class in that side. So the Tielemans and Maddison not playing. So So I wouldn't necessarily.
Some issue there with Maddison.
I wouldn't look. He had a falling out or a spot there, and he's never got himself back into it, has he?
No.
To me, that's not a statement performance against Leicester now at the moment. To be honest with you, the statement wins performance are going to be against the top 4.
But as Rory Fitzgerald says, I suppose he has it right as usual. Good evening, gents. A bit of a chess game at the first 20-30, but when we turn the screw, love the Jota's goals. Absolutely beautiful. He had Ramsdale on his arse. Ramsdale, to be fair, kept him in it at times, really, didn't he? You know what I mean?
He did. Listen, it's Ramsdale being in the right place, but some poor finishing as well, to be honest with you. Like you would have expected him to make the vast majority of his saves. I don't think there was anything world class in terms of anything, but they're building him up because he must be English, so that's what they're building him up.
What a game to be at.
I agree with Rory. The first 20 minutes was a chess game, and to be honest with you, until that spot at the side of the pitch, I think you could have had 60, 70, 80 minutes of a fucking chess game. And that was that lit us up and that got us moving. That spot on the sideline. It was instantaneous, the change in the attitude. The change,
I think the crowd, though. Did you not think it was the crowd? You could hear the noise on the telly. The fucking crowd. Every time they went in for a challenge or went to a man on the crowd, the level just went up. The level went up.
But games like that, it needs something.
We feed off the energy,
Yeah, absolutely. It needed something. That definitely got the crowd up. The crowd went up 2 or 3 levels as a result of that spot on the sideline,
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, listen, that's not to say the lads wouldn't have turned it on at some stage, got a rocket under their arse at half time and just come out the second half and blown them away. I'm just talking about from what I could see from afar, there was a marked difference in terms of everything was quicker, everything was quicker. No, Rory. No, it was Arklow. I fucking legged it.
Carlo. He fucking be still down there, was Carlo.
Yeah.
Domestic Butler was at the match. Like, Carl, long time no see, my friend. Domestic Butler at the match. You picked the right bloody match there, I'll tell you.
Right game to be at.
Jackie boy. Yeah, what a game to be at.
Yeah.
I want the club to mess with.
I had a 3 o'clock kickoff and they're under 15s in Arklow. So I was lit. I'm sure I've got tickets in the post. I've definitely got tickets in the post. So.
But I'll tell you what the thing about it is, Killian Callan Quinn, I think Liverpool do when they put it on against Arsenal. We've seen the 4s, the 5-1s, the 5-0s in recent years, in the Klopp era, basically. I think that the style sort of suits us, Keith, doesn't it? Especially at Anfield. They're a good footballing side, but they're a bit light.
I thought they did very well. I thought they did very well for the first 15, 20 minutes with a lot of possession. We were 60, 65, 67% possession, at some stages. But, if you just to look at the stats from that perspective, you think it was very handy for us, but it wasn't. They were turning the ball over. They got into a couple of good positions down our wings. So the first 15, 20 minutes or so, although it appeared on paper to be relatively handy, it wasn't handy. It wasn't handy. We had a lot of the football, all right, but when they were on possession, it was good possession and they worked it well. And they did quite well with the possession they had for the first 15, 20 minutes.
Well, yourself, even at 1-0, you're not happy, like you're saying. We should be 2 or 3-0 up here, lads. Bit of deja vu going on at half time. But I think once the second goal went in, I think we took it. It was more of how many we're going to get when the second goal went in. You know what I mean? Steve Coker, we should play Arsenal every week.
Yeah. But listen, I think at that point, listen, we always want the third. Once we get our third goal, right? Once we get our third goal, it's champagne football then for the remainder, isn't it? And it really is a matter of 4, 5, and 6 if we're going to get that, because we just play some super football. Like some of the balls they give to Salah on the wing and expect him to control them are fucking unbelievable.
Did you see him controlling them though?
They fuck the ball at him. It's not even like a really nice pass into him. Like he literally has to do
like
magical work to get the ball under control. What?
There was some zips into the feet tonight, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Thiago's playing balls
over his shoulder, just put into space, and he's taking it down and just killing it
down though. He's taking them fucking down. As I said, I watched the highlights again, and that was just champagne football, as you say. And I'm drinking a bottle of
forward to match today tonight. Now it's an absolute
pleasure to watch. Jack is saying, I hope you guys are well. Ox was man the match for me. Loved his game today. A big improvement. It was against his old team and stuff like that. The thing I liked about Ox, I think you said it earlier, Keith, he's tracking back, his willingness to put a bit of work. And we've said it over the past year or two. He doesn't put the work in, Ox. He's like a luxury player type of thing. I think today he actually did what Klopp said on the tin. It's like a Ron Seal performance. Do exactly what it says in the tin.
I think what I liked about him, he wasn't pressing in the wrong places. He pressed in the right places. He turned the ball over. He went in to win the ball in the right places where he had cover. He wasn't going into spaces now where he'd no right going into, like a headless chicken. He was a hell of a lot more controlled in terms of his press. When he pressed, and he turned the ball over consistently throughout the match, but he did it in the right areas. He did it in areas where he could affect the game, where once he turned the ball over, got his foot in, we were on the attack. But if he didn't, there was players around him, to be able to make up for it. So I thought it was really kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It was a very mature midfield performance from Ox. He had his couple of shots from outside the box, which is absolutely fine. He's entitled to do that. But when he would turn the ball over, like he was putting balls into feet, he wasn't doing something stupid. He wasn't taking too much out of it. He kept it relatively simple. But he did that central midfield job that we expect our central midfielders to do. I thought he's phenomenal, to be honest with you. So it was a really strong, mature performance from Ox tonight.
Yeah, who's your man of the match?
He's certainly in the top three for man of the match for me.
I think Salah was phenomenal. You look here, Cop on Podcast, Owen, as usual, with his stat man. Owen. Mo's second half performance was beautiful. 141 goals, 53 assists, and 219. That's fucking ridiculous. And I actually did tweet at halftime. I want a big second half from Mo. And I think we got it. Yeah. He looked at his game today. Mane looked at his game. He got a yellow early in the game, and I was getting a bit worried. I said he might get substituted, but we hadn't got a great bet. We had a lot of young lads on the bench.
Mane's getting kicked most games, and he's getting kicked up and down the pitch. And he's getting yellows. The reason he's getting yellows is because he's reacting at some point in time. And I think a lot of teams have identified him in terms of, from a mentality perspective, as being a bit of a weak link. Yeah. And if you get at him and you niggle him and you niggle him and you niggle him, do you know what? There is a chance here we might be able to get Mane sent off. And it's every game, and he's not getting the protection he needs. He's definitely not getting the protection he needs, to be honest with you. He was kicked up and down that pitch, and the teams are clever enough. It's not the same.
They know they're going to get a reaction from, though. They know they're going to get a reaction.
They do, yeah. But he needs better protection from the referee, from my perspective. They rotate. They all have a go. Everybody has a go. Everybody has a go at Mane, to be honest with you. You don't see it anywhere else. No. And that's obviously somebody having a look at it saying, you know what, we'll get him a yellow, or we get inside his head, or we might get him.
Do you ever see that smile when he gets tackled or something? He gets up. You ever see the smile? The dirty smile.
He knows you're trying to get inside my head. He knows exactly what they're doing, So
he's on fucking real.
Fuck them all.
To be fair, actually, everybody did a great game. Simicals was very good going forward.
Brilliant.
Very disciplined going forward, and disciplined in defence, I thought tonight. Very good. Very good. Van Dijk, Matip hadn't got a huge amount to do, but were composed. Alisson pulled off one great save, actually, an important save. Two good saves, actually, but one that was, did his job, calm and collected. Trent was absolutely up there for man of the match, to be fair, with 2 assists, just his overall game. Fabinho was brilliant in midfield, breaking it up. I don't know whether you see it. He was immense tonight. Yeah, I think three stood out for me.
Snuffed out any slimmer of opportunity they had. He snuffed it out. To be honest with you. There's a chance there in the second half, or the first half, I think late in the first half, when they were breaking on us, and he just snuffs the whole thing out. From one of our set pieces into the box, they break. And, if it gets past Fabinho, we're in all sorts of shite, just cleans it up. Just does his job.
It was a nice little fulcrum. You had Fab there, you had Thiago there, and then you had Ox, who all those three had a good game. But it was nice because Thiago, you could pass. He didn't really give away many balls tonight. He was actually calm and collected tonight.
After his first 5 or 6. He started slowly. Yeah.
He started slowly.
He gave it away
he
a
needs
bit
time. He needs time, Keith, to get into the game. And I mean, the grass was wet. It was raining. It was actually raining at Anfield before the game. So the grass was real zippy. And Liverpool loved that. That's why the ball was like a bleeding missile when it was on the ground, because it was wet. The ball was just, and then the front three were absolutely immense. So it was an 8 or 9 out of 10 performance from the whole team, and no one had a bad game, which is an unusual thing to say in a football match, that no one has a bad game. Even the subs when they came on. I mean, Henderson did well when he came on, was involved with Minamino's goal, and he scored. It was delightful.
Yeah, he puts the ball forward in the 15 seconds. You're scoring a goal within 15 seconds of coming on the pitch. Nothing wrong with that.
As Jack Mack says, hit the like button, guys. What?
Yeah.
Mane deserves a lot of praise in this game, as Keith just said. Yeah, he's been good for us. I think Mane's getting back to what we expected from a bit of a mixed season last season. But Mane has that little fire in his belly, and if he hasn't got that fire in his belly, that's not Mane.
It's not the same player.
He has to have that fire in his belly. You'll nenever get rid of that. If you get rid of it, you don't have the same player. Jack Mack is saying, it's mad how Abu has been missing for years. Jeez, that guy's on something like $500,000 with a gold Lamborghini, and I think he had one chance tonight. Good save from Alisson, but I mean, he didn't do anything in the game, did he? I mean,
he needs a lot of service.
Luxury.
Yeah, he needs a lot of service. Well, he needs, he probably needs. Listen, he's a phenomenal player, to be honest with you. But
what would he do at Liverpool? What would he do at Liverpool? I'd say he'd score goals at Liverpool.
He's not good enough.
You don't think so?
For Liverpool. No.
Well, he's older now. What is he? Mid-30s, 34 or something?
He's not good enough. Not good enough for us now.
No. Would you not have him on the bench last 20? With his gold Lamborghini parked on the sideline? No. Fuck's sake. I'd take him. As we know, Klopp worked with him before in Germany. But all 4 forwards scoring. What can you ask for? Yeah, well, that's true. The new three amigos, Jota, Mane, and Salah scored. And then Taki comes on and gets a goal. But I thought Jota's goal, the one where oh my God, I thought it was brilliant. He took the piss out of the defender and the goalkeeper, who had a good game, Ramsdale, for them. Probably there. He was probably there playing the bloody.
It's different. It's a different kind of goal, but it reminded me of Firmino's goal there a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, the one where he turned him on
the put the whole team on its arse.
That was even better.
He puts the centre half on his arse, and then he puts the keeper on his arse as well, and just finishes away. And he could have had a hat-trick, Jota, today.
But that was the killer goal. That was the 2-0. That was the killer goal for me. That was a goal that, more or less wrapped up the points. And that was early in the second half. You know what I mean?
Listen, keeps us in the hunt, to be honest with you. Keeps in the hunt. Really busy period coming up now. Really busy period, to be honest with you.
Ramsdale back to the championship. You're right there, Jackie boy. Yeah, huge. I mean, we've Porto midweek. There's no dead rubbers. Liverpool played as Liverpool, so that's the way it is. But at least there's nothing riding on it, Keith. I know you want to continue with the momentum and stuff like that, but we got to be careful because we've got injuries. Unless we can play the likes of Minamino. I mean, even Origi wasn't there today on the bench. He has some injury, some mystery injury as well. So he got injured for Belgium, I think, didn't he? Playing away for Belgium.
Yeah. No, my point the other night really was just to maintain some degree of momentum going forward, particularly into this busy period.
Continuity, yeah. No, I understand it. You don't want to get beaten by Porto,
No, and as I said to you, I've no problem with us putting out, kids, and I know it's a good bit away. When we play Milan, but I think Milan, the San Siro was the game to blood some kids. I think this one now, Wednesday, would be whatever about potentially rotate maybe the back two. Simicast is only coming in new. I don't think there's any issue with Trent. You could probably look to bring in Milner. You could probably look to start Henderson. You know what I mean? And
Milner's injured. Actually, Milner was injured. He wasn't even on the bench.
Was he not? I thought he's back.
No.
I thought he's trained. Maybe just
I thought he was. No. That was the thing. Milner, Jones. I mean, Jones probably would have started ahead of Ox today if he was fit. I'm delighted Ox started. Well, at least it gives us options as well, because everybody had forgotten man Ox, really. And he's had 1 or 2 decent games. I know he disappointed against West Ham, but he's had 1 or 2 sort of little games that to reignite, and we know what he can do, type of thing.
Maybe that's the game. Maybe just play him. To be honest with you, play him. Well, So
Matt Fisher saying most players. I don't know. At least look, it's a luxury. We don't have to play. That's the thing. I'm saying.
I just think winning. Right? Listen, we won leagues in the past with 13, 14 players, 15 players. Right? I know it's a different time, different type of football. But you got to keep the consistency going. You have to do it. If we start getting a bit sketchy, particularly at home, whereby we've won a match, drawn a match, lost a match, won a match, that's sketchy form from my perspective. Sketchy form.
No, I agree. And as well as that, Keith, I mean, fellas saying, "Oh, you get injured playing fuck. You can get injured playing FIFA." That's what Naby Keita does, playing FIFA on the bloody. You know what I mean? You can get injured in training. Most injuries.
Robbie King got injured, reaching for a fucking remote control one time. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
but you can get injured. You know, most injuries, I think if you look it up, most injuries are on the training pitch. They're not actually on the bloody pitch. So I'm not even worried about that. But I thought Mo was back to his best today, Mo. I know we got a tap in, but he just looked dangerous. His touch, as you said, he killed 3 balls. So it was like a sniper tonight. They were coming out of the air at about 100 miles an hour.
They're just hitting a space with him. They're not even trying to get a killer ball in front of him. It has to be to feet. They're literally just throwing a ball into a particular area, and he's just killing it. He's just bringing it down. If it's over his shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder, into his feet, zipped, doesn't matter. Just put the ball over, and I'll just kill it, and then I'll stop it, and I'll go left, right, and then we're on the attack again. Just phenomenal. So,
I mean, we're not going to stay on long because this is just an instant reaction to that fantastic 4-0 victory at Anfield, guys.
I promised my wife 20 minutes, Dave. I promised her
20 minutes. Oh, he's in trouble here. He is in big trouble. So I can't be in Sinead's bad books, or I'd be really in trouble. I think we leave it there then. We leave it there. I was happy.
Brilliant.
Keith's happy. You guys in the comments are happy. 4-0 to the Reds. Dreamland. Roll on to Wednesday against Porto. Guys, thank you very much for coming in. Keith, as usual.
Thanks, lads. Good to see you all.
Enjoy your weekend, guys.
You too. Talk to you soon, lads. Up the Reds.